Hello, I am Dr. Cinema, and today is the first day of October, and since I'm such a horror fan, I'm just gonna say it's the month of Halloween. I really love Halloween. I really love movies as a genre, but I don't think we give enough attention to the horror TV shows. I mean, yes, you have your Walking Dead, your American Horror Story, but I want to talk about a different show, the show Dexter. No, we are not talking about the finale. As you can tell, Dexter had an impact, whether it's for better or worse. The show centered around a fictional serial killer named Dexter Morgan, living in Miami as a blood, blood splatter forensic analysis at the police department, who is a serial killer that actually hunts and kills other serial killers because his foster father, who was a police officer, raised him with a certain code to help make sure he didn't get caught and make sure he killed people that deserved to die. Now, the first four seasons are considered the best parts of Dexter, while the second half, well, let's just say it definitely took a downturn. There were some good parts in there, don't get me wrong, but overall, it was a little disappointing. But I'm not here to talk about like the downfalls of the show. I won't focus on the character himself, Dexter Morgan. Now, if you watch the show, you know Dexter Morgan is actually a pretty likable guy. He's not really charismatic per se, although he does have his good moments. And he plays, when he's out in public, a pretty average guy. Just guy who sort of blends in a little bit. But he's a pretty likable guy, aside from the fact that he's a serial killer who kills other serial killers. Re-watching the series again, I was, listening to like the little Dexter voice over that happens throughout an episode or so. I was beginning to think, is Dexter Morgan the character an homage to other older horror works? Now, when I say an homage to older horror, I'm talking about the Universal monster movies from the 1930s and 40s. They focus on creatures that actually were a lot more human than we probably like to think. Count Dracula, Frankenstein, creatures from the Black Lagoon, the Mummy, Wolfman. They were creatures, yes, but they were also human-like. They reflected humanity, and they just showed the potential of what humanity could become. And the best example of the Universal monsters reflecting humanity is the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man, based off the H.G. Wells book of the same name, it's about a scientist who was a pretty normal scientist at the beginning, but he took that one step across the line that most people will not take across, and an experiment resulted in him becoming completely invisible, and that's sort of like was the beginning of his like disarray into darkness, into madness. And I can't think of another Universal monster creature that best reflected humanity. I mean, he was a pretty normal guy, just a regular scientist, but he took that one step that most people would not take across that moral or ethical line, and he took that, and he became what many would consider a monster. And watching Dexter Morgan's TV show, he's very similar to that sort of like viewpoint of the Universal monster creatures. I mean, yes, so a lot of people would consider him a monster because he's a serial killer, but he's also killing bad guys and reflecting what humanity really has and could become. It's also sort of an homage to like the normal fictional serial killers like Norman Bates or Michael Myers, like serial killers that blend into the background most of the time, not really taking much notice, but when they come out, you are horrified by what you see. But Dexter Morgan is, I think, an homage to like what those original creatures were meant to represent. I can't really say for sure if the creator of Dexter Morgan actually was doing an homage. He first appeared in a book, which was then adapted into a TV show. And while the first TV season was based off the book, the other seasons were not. So I can't really say if they were really paying a sort of secret homage to the Universal monsters and other fictional serial killers and murderers, but I like to think that yes, Dexter Morgan is sort of like a modern day Universal monster in that, yes, he does monstrous things, he does dark things, but he's also a reflection of humanity, of what we would secretly like. We will what we would makes us question like, would we do what he does? Would we really go as far as to kill other bad people like he is doing? And he really makes us think, and I think that was the whole point of the Universal monster creatures in the first place, especially with the Invisible Man. But I like to think that Dexter Morgan is secretly paying tribute to those that came before him. And that's what I have to say about Dexter Morgan. And welcome. Well, I might come up with another video later today about the TV show, but welcome to the month of Halloween.